as always, I have a very special guest for you all. So what do I want to say about this man? Okay, right. so, so first I want to tell you all, he's an actor. You may have seen him in the likes of Godfather of Harlem. Hey folks, it's your girl, Ebony Yvonne, and welcome to Flow Talks, where we're having inspirational conversations about dreaming out loud while staying in flow. And today, yes, today, as always, I have a very special guest for you all. So what do I want to say about this man? Okay, right. so, so first I want to tell you all, he's an actor. You may have seen him in the likes of Godfather of Harlem. I'm just going by IMDb or something like that. So Godfather of Harlem, American Soul, The Quad. He is also a coach, an instructor, acting coach and instructor. And inside secret, I used to have a major crush on him when I was like 12 or 13 years old. So without further ado, I want to introduce you to Todd Anthony. Is it Menego? Do you want the last name in there?
Yeah, throw that in there too. Since you already put it out.
Menego. All right. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me. I was bragging to some of our mutual friends that I would be on your show, and they would not. So here I am.
I love it. Yes, we go way back. Way back. So tell the people, I know that you've been on this journey for a very long time, but tell the people exactly how you got into acting and why and what is this all about?
Wow. Well, so I was always into some form of entertainment in the industry. I think even way back when I was managing artists and acts and things like that. So I've always been in the entertainment industry in some form or facet. Mm-hmm. But I would say probably in about 94, I was doing another undergraduate degree at Georgia State. And I met my first theater mentor, Dr. Charlene Holmes, and she she really took a liking to me, and she exposed me to so much to do with the arts and theater, and I got the bug. Yeah. August Wilson, the greatest African-American playwright, one of the greatest playwrights of all time. His works really inspired me to get more involved into the theater. Mm-hmm. So between 94 and 2007, I did exclusively theater. I traveled around doing theater. I was a part of a theater company called Good Company. I was even in New York doing a little theater. 2008, I was just tired, Yeah. And theater is a grind. And
that's like that's a lot different from like
TV and film
on set and doing all that, right?
TV and film is a different animal.
Okay.
2007, I actually turned 40, so I was kind of tired. So I said,
your age now, 2007. All right, we doing the math.
Yeah, we can do the math. I'm definitely not one of those actors and artists who doesn't want to share his age. Mm-hmm. But I said, TV and film industry had just started coming to Atlanta, and I said, let me see what this is all about. Okay. So I jumped into that, and I haven't looked back. I have an agent here in Atlanta. I have a manager that I deal with that's actually in LA. And, it's just been a journey. The TV and film side is a lot less blue collar, if you will. It's kind of the
a lot of politics,
white collar version, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of politics, but it's anything in the entertainment industry is full of politics, but it's a lot less hard work with no payoff, I say.
Okay, I get where you're going.
The theater is about the arts, whereas TV and film is about being seen. I guess it's about movie stars.
You can play a little bit more with the TV side of it, I'm guessing. But
yeah, well, the theater side, you better be trained and you better be an artist.
Yeah,
you better be good.
Yeah.
Whereas in TV, sometimes it just boils down to who likes you or how good you look. Sometimes, and then there are those people who are on the TV and film side who have both.
Okay.
So
the difference between being a true thespian or not. Got you.
Yes. Well, that's what us theater snobs feel like.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's giving us some insight. So tell me, what do you feel some of your more significant challenges have been, especially as a Black man, in the Hollywood industry and, trying to get gigs and different things like that? What do you feel some of the more significant challenges have been?
Well, early on,
if at all.
Yeah, well, no, there are challenges, definitely. Early on in my career, Ebony, the biggest challenge I had was that most of the representation was, white talent agents and managers. Mm-hmm. And by and large, they really didn't know what to do with Black actors.
Gotcha.
So if you already had a name for yourself, like if you were a music artist or if you were a comedian or already had some sort of fame, then they could just pitch you as that. But absent that, they really didn't know what to do with us. So and we kind of had to bring them along.
A box of sorts or something? Is that how people typecast or?
If you're lucky, you were put into a box and typecast.
Oh.
No, and I'll qualify that because we have this saying in the industry: the key word in typecast is cast. That means you're working. So if you're typecast, then that means you are working. You are cast.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay.
Not necessarily. I always give the example that Robert De Niro played gangsters for 30 years.
Okay.
But everybody knows who he is, right?
Absolutely.
But my thing was that representation just didn't know what to do with me.
Okay.
They knew I was talented. They knew I was trained. They knew I was, seasoned, but they just didn't know, they want to put you in this slot. They want to put you in this thing, but they don't know what that is. So it was very difficult for me at first. And being older, when I jumped on the TV and film side, I was a lot more aware than my younger colleagues.
Right.
So I could see what was happening. And
so that was actually an advantage for you.
Well, it could be, but back then we really had no recourse in the Atlanta market. There was nothing really truly happening here. People, it looks like a lot was happening here, but what was happening was New York and LA were still getting all of the real roles. And then what was left over, we could kind of pick from the scraps here in Atlanta. And me being seasoned, I was like, no.
Right.
No.
Right.
I'm telling my talent agents, no, I want those roles. And they're like, yeah, but, and I'm like, don't spit in my face and tell me it's raining. Yeah. So it was one of those things that doesn't always endear you to the people in power, if you will, be it talent agents or casting people. So
it was good for you in the sense that you could see what it was and you could call it out. But then the opposite, like the effect of that, the outcome of that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was like shouting in the wilderness, because in Atlanta, there were a lot of young actors scrambling for the few roles. And it's literally just beginning to change.
Right now?
right now, because I have a lot of conversations with actors that I've been in around for a decade. And, I say, hey, look, man, we got to stop, taking these little roles that they just want to throw. And they're like, Todd, man, I got to eat.
I got to work.
So, right.
Because I was going to say the younger ones probably like, okay, he don't want it, I'm doing it. It doesn't matter.
Right. Somebody's going to take it. Right. So, and because we're not really a strong union market, there's no group,
to fight for you.
To fight for us, yes.
Got you.
And so we're kind of just out here. And it's changing. It's changing for the better.
You would think that it's changed now with Tyler Perry being there and like all the different, like everywhere you look now, like there's a peach on the back of like the production. So you're like, oh, Atlanta is popping. So
well, when Atlanta voted in the state of Georgia voted in the incentive, Hollywood came because they knew they could shoot here for cheap. Tyler Perry built his studios here because he didn't want to play by Hollywood's rules. He didn't want to pay his people that scale. So either way, you're kind of between a rock and a hard place. Like,
still subject to what is going on in the industry and all of that. Okay, thank you. That brings a lot of light to it, because a lot of people who are probably striving for that dream and like just seeing the glitz and the glam of it and not really understanding the background nuances that feed into how you get roles and different things like that. So thank you. Thank you. So what are you working on right now? Like, can you tell us like what's going on?
Well, the actor's main job is to audition. So I've been auditioning. I just had an audition yesterday. So, we just continue to audition. But my main love is my acting class, Anatomy of a Scene. So I've been working on that and kind of transferring, all of that to an online platform and seeing how that goes. So that's really been my labor of love lately. Just getting that off the ground. Yeah.
That's really, really good. We'll make sure to put all the information, down there and everything like that for those who want to partake and find out more.
For sure.
You said, goodness, there was something that you touched on that I wanted to bring back. Oh, okay. We'll move on to the next one. Oh, auditioning. I wanted to know, so like, do you ever get tired of auditioning? And like, how do you manage your anxiety? I know this is like 2 in 1. Do you get tired of it? And how do you manage and deal with your stress level and anxiety when going through this, the repetitiveness of that? Like, how do you deal with that?
Okay. So first question, do I ever get tired of auditioning? The answer to that is no. However, one of the biggest things that happens to actors is that you want to ascend, right? So when you first start in TV and film, you get like what they call day player roles or, co-star roles. And there are different levels even within the co-star role. So, and this is television. So if you're working on TV, you could be an extra, you could be a day player co-star, you could be a recurring co-star, you could be a guest star, or you could be a series regular. A series regular is obviously the person who's on the show every week. A guest star is a media role, but typically only on 1 or 2 episodes. Guest stars can recur, meaning they can come back to different shows, and so can co-stars. But what happens here in Atlanta is we would get the little day player, what they call under 5 roles, which means you have 5 or fewer lines. You may just have 1 line,
Okay.
Would you like a drink of water? And then that's it, Okay. And so what happens is after you book a certain number of those, you stop taking those auditions and you want to ascend to the next level. Gotcha. And by then casting and your agency should believe in you on another level where they know you can do the work and so on and so forth. Well, what happens is what I do get tired of is, I told I told my manager one time, no more roles that don't have a name. I'm not auditioning for.
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
send me for man at bar. Don't send me for,
The randoms.
angry man in crowd, no more of that.
Okay. Okay.
So, and I told my agent that too, among other things. And so, every once in a while, one will trickle through. And I feel like they trying me. I feel like they just trying me to see if I throw him this, will he do it? Just see if he'll do it. Because if I do that one, then they probably gonna hit me with another one and another,
Right.
Because I book it, they get 10%.
Sure.
Of what I make.
Each of them, the manager and the agent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's 20%.
And is it vital? Before you get to the anxiety question, is it vital for you to have a manager and an agent?
No. What happened was I chose to go that route because they each had different spheres of influence, if you will. So the manager had a heavier influence in New York, Chicago, whereas my agent had a heavy influence here and LA. So gotcha. I was able to work both of those angles.
Okay.
So I do get tired of having to tell them, I'm not doing that. Don't send me that audition. There's an exception, obviously, if Spielberg wants me to audition for Man at Bar, I would probably do it. Okay. If Denzel is directing something and I get an audition and it's a very small part, I'll probably go do that. Yeah. It just depends on who the producers are and who the directors are.
Yeah, make it worth your while, right?
Right.
Got it.
Because it's about it's about your connections and the relationships you build. As far as the anxiety, I really don't have anxiety about auditioning anymore. There may be some frustration when I don't see auditions coming.
Sure.
Because, it's hard. I understand that my path is my path, but it's hard to see my contemporaries and my colleagues auditioning, and I had this big conversation one time, this big blowout with my agent one time because, I referenced an actor colleague of mine. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, he auditioned for blah, 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 blah. And they said, Todd, he's 5'9". He's this, he's that. I said, yeah, but then tell me why he auditions for everything I audition for. So he can audition for the tall guy, but I can't audition for the short guy.
Right.
Come on, help me out. What you telling me, you're spitting in my face and telling me it's raining.
Right.
I don't believe you, in other words. That's what I was telling them. So we had this big kind of blow up. And it's frustrating when and it's hard, they call it neck working and not networking. When you're networking and you're seeing other people, and you're like, wait a minute,
you're seeing them flirting.
I could do that.
Right.
Yeah. So and they're contemporaries and they're locals.
Right.
So I mean, I know my agent saw that same audition come across.
Right.
And instead of telling me, well, Todd, we gave that to blah blah blah. They say, oh, well, you didn't fit the specs for it.
Right.
And I'm like,
right.
You do understand that I see you, right?
Right.
Like, they don't understand that I see exactly what's happening. And they're so used to telling people, oh, well, and they go, oh, okay, and walk out. And I'm like, no. So that's the frustrating part.
That's really interesting. I'm glad you said that. I'm going to come back to something you said around you don't have anxiety anymore. Mm-hmm. Right. But what you're talking about right now really reminds me of this talk that I heard Jennifer Lewis give. And she was like, you really need to know who you are when you get inside of that limousine because the elevator to success is broken. And so it's really interesting to hear you say what you're saying, because basically you're having to own yourself at a whole different level, because the advocacy for self, it seems like
Yes.
it's very prominent in this industry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because you don't really, it's rare that you have a true advocate. And, I can't speak for the culture on the next level. I'm not there. A good friend of mine, actor E. Roger Mitchell, he has a manager in LA who seems to be a true advocate. In the Southeast market, in the Atlanta market, the agents, they got 2 or 3 of me on their roster. Right. So they're not really my advocate. They just want to get paid.
Right.
So, and if I can get them paid, then they love me,
Sure.
But in LA, a manager might have 5 clients. So he or she believes in all 5 of you, and he or she is going to work her butt off for all 5 people.
Okay.
And build relationships, and y'all know each other's families, and because it's a personal thing, we're in this together, and it's just not like that here. So the level of advocacy falls back on the artist here in this market. We have to be our biggest advocate, and we have to know the business, know who we are, and know what we want. And that's been the biggest thing. A lot of people are too young to know who they are,
right.
and B, they're starry-eyed, so they haven't really grasped the importance of knowing that this is a business, and you have to know how the business works in order to be in it.
Right. What would you say the learning curve is in terms of those things you mentioned?
What you mean in
like
time?
Like how long do you think it would take you to kind of like get a true sense beyond sense of self? Because Lord knows that could take a lifetime, right?
Right.
So in terms of understanding the business, the nuances there, and like how you would move yourself through that, is there?
Well, it just depends on your desire.
Okay.
It's just like anything else. They say you want to hide knowledge from somebody, put it in the library. Look, all the information is out there.
You gotta go.
And and all you have to do is just walk in it, and you can see how it works. But you can experience something, and then people will, in this business, will tell you with a straight face that it's something else. So I can see how, to a young person who's not really sure of who they are, that can be confusing.
Yeah.
But I jumped in TV and film at the tender age of 40. So it wasn't confusing to me at all.
I got you. So going back to, I don't have anxiety about auditions anymore.
You want me to expound on that?
Yeah, talk to us.
Well, okay. So when I first jumped into TV and film, all the auditions were what we call in the room, which now the majority of auditions in this market are self-tape, where you set up a camera and you tape your audition and you send it to casting. Well, but back then, everything was in the room.
So you had to go and be judged in person.
Right. So you're literally in the room with casting and whoever else is there.
Okay.
So there was a level of anxiety associated with that. Like, I'm in the room, and so you got to be on. It was more like theater, but I came out of the theater, so even that was mitigated a bit. Whereas I was like, I knew how to prepare. So I didn't go in the room and allow my nerves to take over. It was just like a theater audition, or it was just like a play. Like it's live.
Training. Right.
Yeah,
right.
It's live. But there was some anxiety. When you first get in the business, you are auditioning for everything. Independent films, and I've gone into rooms where there were 20 people, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
Right.
And I've walked into rooms where you know, I walked around the corner and Lee Daniels was sitting right there. Hey, I'm Lee. And I'm like, hey, you know, or, you
Right.
know,
Right.
Forrest Whitaker's in the room, or,
Right.
you know, so that
Which can be
can,
intimidating because then you're like, oh my gosh. Right.
it
Right.
can be
Right.
intimidating. But the funny thing is, you know, a lot of these quote unquote famous people are my age and younger. So
Mhm.
I'm not intimidated by that at all.
Got it.
You know, I've been caught off guard now.
Sure.
I ain't gonna
Sure.
trip. I've been
Sure.
caught off guard.
But
So,
at the end of the day,
but
you're like, okay, you put your pants on just like me. So yeah.
yeah, and yeah. So
Okay.
and I tell actors that all the time. You will be able to begin to reach your true potential
Mm-hmm.
when you stop caring about what they think,
Mm-hmm.
because you prepared, you're strong, you know who you are. Go in the room and give them the best you've got on that day.
Yeah.
Not the best you had last month,
Yeah.
not the best you had yesterday, the best you have on that day. And
Yeah.
then after that, if you do that, then you should be able to feel good about yourself on the drive home, whether you booked it, whether they smiled, whether they didn't pay attention to you. You can go on about your business.
Yeah. Or whatever is going on.
Yeah.
So tell us what's the dream? Like where are you trying to go with this? Are you still like what are you still like dreaming big in terms of acting? Do you want to turn your acting classes into a school? Like what are you doing?
So I love to coach and teach. And this, you know, um, this has really put me in a position to meet and work with some very talented people, some people who are going places, some people who are already very well known.
Mhm.
Uh, I coach privately and things like that. Um, you know, I joke with people that, you know, I believe that at any given moment we are right where we're supposed to be, and I do have these, you know, dreams about, you know, booking a series regular
Mhm.
role on a television show, um, or working beside one of my, you know, one of the people that I admire in TV and film.
Mhm.
So those dreams are still out there.
Okay.
But what I understand is that I'm here for a reason, and
Sure.
I learned a long time ago that um, that the gift uh, in purpose that I was given was to facilitate uh, the learning of others. So no matter where I've been in my life since early on, I've always found my way to coaching or teaching.
Yeah.
So I believe I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I get loads and loads of gratitude from that. And that has opened doors for me to do some other wonderful things in front of the camera. So
Awesome.
I just stay encouraged and excited about that. And I keep pushing.
That's awesome because my next question was going to be, do you feel that you're in flow right now? And I'm going to let you answer it, but it sounds like maybe.
Yeah. You know, your gift will make room for you and put you before great men. I
Mhm.
believe that I'm living in my gift. I believe that I am uh, moving every day in my gift. So I do believe that I'm in flow. Um, I always um, desire to find ways to give to other actors. That's why I'm doing my class right now online for free for actors, because ain't no actors working right
Y'all
now.
heard
I
that?
mean, they might have another job, but you know,
Okay.
they're not
Okay.
working as actors.
That's probably
So
for a limited time, so y'all better get on right now.
yeah, it is. It is for a limited time.
Okay.
But for right now, just last weekend, I did four classes over the weekend for free,
Okay.
and they're scene work classes, and we had a really great time with the actors coming in. So yes, I do believe that I'm in flow, and until you know, the spirit tells me something else, I'm going to keep believing that if you use the gift he gave you, it makes him proud and he gives you more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we're about to wrap it up, and I want to say
no.
Yeah, I know. Oh, and I just want to say thank you so much for coming on today. Let me ask, are there any, you've given us so much, because one of the things that excited me today about having you on, one, you're our first actor / thespian to come on, but this show is all about helping people navigate that inner journey and what it takes to dream out loud. And so
Right.
for you to be someone who is accomplished in the ways that you are, and to be able to come back and give them these gimlets about what it takes to work in that industry and to climb, that's tremendous. So thank you. So, but I want to give you the opportunity to just whatever final gifts or gems that you have to bestow upon us.
Wow. Move. You
Mm,
know, when the spirit tells you to go, go. And don't question the spirit, the being that gave you life and that
right.
breathes life into you every day. I posted something the other day that said, you know, think of all the lives that are changed and altered when you hesitate. You
Yes.
know,
Oh,
we can't question the energy, the power, the spirit that made us. What we need to do is trust that the direction that that spirit is pushing us in is true and has our best interest at heart. Might not always feel good to us, but it is definitely good for us. So
absolutely.
move. That's my
I
message
love it. That's a
to
good
everything.
one. Because
Move.
sometimes we're caught in our head and you need to just take action. You just need to get out there, take that leap of faith, right? And I also like what you said about not understanding fully how your dream may be connected to others, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because often it is. Often it is. Yeah,
Well, we're all connected, whether
absolutely.
we want to believe it or not. I mean, who would have thought that after 30 years, I would be on this podcast with you, right? Seeing that smile all
Uh-huh.
over again after all of these years and laughing and talking with you. We are definitely connected,
Absolutely.
you know, and that's, you know, that's something that we have to accept. As the human race, we have a long way to go, but I believe we're all connected.
Absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you. Todd, thank you so much for coming on the show today. You blessed us. Guys, I am the queen of real talk, and this has been another EYD Dream Life production. I mean, thank y'all for flowing with us. So, toodles. Until next time.
Thank you, Ebony. It was a blessing.
Thank
So
you.
good.
Thank you.